Hello there, beautiful souls, beautiful humans. Welcome to this new moon in Aquarius and Chinese New Year in the sign of the Wood Dragon energy update. So, hello, I am RozyGlow. I am a channel of divine grace, which means a channel of revelations that come through from the Star Peace Collective that are here as the bringers of peace on earth. Now, if you haven't yet heard about Star Peace, essentially back in 2020, I received a very strong message loud in my ears as I was waking up on the morning of the 31st of October saying, hey, RozyGlow, the war is over. In our universe, the light has won. Star Wars is over. It's time for Star Peace. Words to that effect. And I have been preparing this message for the collective ever since. So if you are new to me, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Facebook group. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for opening your hearts to this, because this is really for those of us who are here with the intention to co-create Paradise Earth. And, you know, I call myself a multidimensional success coach. I call myself a bringer of the Paradise Earth codes. There are all sorts of different titles I can give myself, but ultimately, what is this all about? It's about connecting to our soul light. It is about activating our soul light inside of our human physical experience and learning how to co-create our reality consciously and co-create from our higher selves rather than our wounded ego selves. And we're going through a mass ascension. I know many teachers are talking about this, but from my point of view, in simple terms, we're being rewired. We're being rewired from survival to thriving, from adrenaline to oxytocin. This is happening physiologically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. So today's energy update is really looking at how specifically the energies in Aquarius, this new moon in Aquarius that leads us to the full moon in Virgo, is preparing us really to make the most of what's going on presently, because we have no planets going retrograde this month. We've got 7 conjunctions, so there's lots of new starts, like leaps, quantum leaps available to us. And every time we step forward and say yes, we'll meet another bit of us that says no. And so we want to meet that bit of us, communicate with that bit of us, see why they're saying no, but not go into the no with them, okay? If you're in my world, you know that no means go, in the sense that we learn how to work with fear and doubt in such a way that it doesn't debilitate us, but it actually allows us to step forward boldly or tentatively sometimes, where before we would contract, go in the opposite direction and avoid. And there's a big message this particular month about fear, about how fear holds us back, and about how things are not necessarily as they seem, especially the things that really scare us. Now, you know what it's like when you get into a state, maybe you receive an email or a text message or something in the post that gets your adrenaline going because it's terrifying. You know, maybe someone's asking you for money or something's happened that you didn't expect. And this is the kind of thing that most of us like to try and control and prevent from happening. This is when we say we don't like surprises because we expect surprises to be challenging, negative, have an impact on us that's undesirable. And yet, if we are equipped to take every challenge and see the opportunity, then does that not mean that we can really come into the energy of allowing ourselves to be open, to connect to the highest good, to choose to be a conduit of source, love, light codes on this planet, and to be an instrument of peace in this world through our living example? This does not mean being holier than thou, being pious, being a mung bean eating, teetotaling hippie. And don't get me wrong, like, there's room for all of us, whatever works for you, whatever makes your sun shine. I'm all over that. I really want to know what that is. But I have learned something very powerful about us actually truly being the most authentic version of ourselves, being the best version of ourselves. This does not mean the all sweetness and light version of ourselves. It means the version of us that actually integrates light and shadow. So the lessons that come with the Aquarian new moon are basically, it's not personal. If something comes about that is offensive to you, is not what you want, is not what you anticipated, is not what you called in, be curious about it. Why has this shown up? Because usually it's something unexpected and, let's say, undesirable shows up to allow you to see something you couldn't see before. And then what that does is it liberates you from where you were going round in a circle, and it takes away that which you don't want to make space for that which you do. I've had some of the most powerful shifts already, and we're only on the 7th of this month, right? It's been huge. So if you want to make the most of this, the way I have described it is, my husband's a surfer, right? So in Portugal at the moment, some huge waves, which you actually can't paddle to get. You need to be ski jetted onto the wave. And obviously, if you don't know how to catch a wave like that, it's probably best you don't do it. I'm not suggesting you do, but it's the power of nature that we meet with technology. We meet with what we've got, knowing that as humans, we have the skills to then deal with the power of that nature. So, for example, you wouldn't put a novice surfer on one of those waves because it's going to kill them, right? But for someone who's really, really top of their game, knows how to work with this powerful energy, being able to come in on that wave and to surf that wave is something that otherwise we wouldn't be able to do. And this is another element of the beauty of the Aquarian era. One, we're in the new moon, but two, we're bringing in the era of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, and it is the age of technology. Now, if we look at this from a negative point of view, it can all be used to destroy us, to make us automatons, to not have compassion, to not have soul anymore, just to literally be living energy cells for the powers that exist in the non-physical realm. Or we recognize that everything that we are capable of conceiving and creating has the power to harm or to heal. And we open ourselves up to choosing to heal with that which we create, right? With the power we are given, we choose to heal. And the I am statement for this month is very much, I am surrendering my ego will to my divine will, or the divine will. And this leads us into this energy of the Chinese wood dragon and the new year, the Chinese new year of the wood dragon, which is really exciting because dragon energy, without knowing anything about dragons, like what's the first thing that springs to mind when you think about a dragon? What comes to you? What do you feel? What sort of springs to mind? I mean, the first thing that really comes to me is the story of Saint George and slaying the dragon, which, seems a bit mean, really, doesn't it? But what does the dragon represent, right? Often we fear what we don't understand, right? So we try to slay, to kill, to suppress, to somehow destroy that which we don't understand that feels threatening to us. And yet what we're being invited to do, and we have been invited to do this since the last new moon in Sagittarius, which was, I believe, in November. And that was really about the energy of the sword of truth, or the sword of fire that burns through that which is no longer necessary in our lives. And with the current energies, because we've had loads and loads of retrograde planets, we've had loads of stuff going on in the last year. The energy that we're stepping into now is of growth. We've done the groundwork. I know personally, I felt like I've been sitting in a holding pen for about 3 years. And now it's like, are you ready? Are you ready to take that call? Are you ready to jump on that plane? Are you ready to say yes and to sign that contract when this shows up? Because that's what we've been prepping for behind the scenes. And we're going to get, with the next full moon in Virgo, we're going to get this opportunity to, again, address dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Is there anything that still needs to be done? And I'm promising to clear my office of all the paperwork clutter ahead of that full moon. That is definitely something that is required at this point for me. And that is something I am setting the intention to. So if you have an intention you want to set that you want to be held accountable to, then I encourage you to put that in the comments as you watch this. And I'm going to actually just check in to see if I get any questions as we're going, because, the opportunity with this energy update is really for us to prepare ourselves to make the most of the prevailing winds. So this fearlessness is key. And in case you didn't know, I run a program called Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me. And for a very long time, the way I've written it out is fearless, right? So I've been very, very clear that it's not that you don't experience fear, it's how you deal with it. And the fact that it stops being the main motivating force of your life. But every time we grow beyond what we know, we will encounter the familiar, emotions, feelings, thought forms, patterns and beliefs, etc., that normally would stop us moving forward, because that is our survival programming. That is our ego. So typically it's doubt and it's fear that will come up. So it's how we work with those. And the whole program is set up to support you to basically learn how to do that. So you stop trying to control everyone and everything and preventing everyone and everything from learning their lessons. And you focus instead on your own vibrational alignment with what it is you actually want. And when you learn how to work with resistance as it comes up, so fear, doubt, judgment, what other people might think of you, guilt, blame, shame, all the stuff that normally holds you back, and you recognize how your living example is what inspires others, then, you know, what happens is your world completely changes. And I have learned myself that for us to have our bigger vision, if you like, soul mission come forward, our personal wants and needs must be addressed first. If we are trying, and I use the word on purpose, to save the world, to help others who are less fortunate than us, to whatever it is that you have compassion for, that you see the suffering in the world, and you yourself are not in a balanced, well-resourced state, it's going to hit you. Okay, it's going to affect you negatively. And it will do that because you're not balanced energetically. I mean, I've learned this the hard way myself. And something else that's coming with the current energies is we need for something to happen in our lives, some receptivity to it must be there. I call that receptor cells. Okay. So if something occurs that is not what you intended, remember that there's some part of you that is programmed to expect this, to look out for it, to call it in, and learning to change that, to transmute that so that the receptor cells are reprogrammed is part of your journey in Ascension. Okay, this is again what we do in the course program. And I've started to just call it, you know, the general sweep that allows you to switch from being wired to survive to being wired to thrive. And I think that this is key because most of us start trying to do deep work in specific areas without having done a general sweep of all the different ways that we are conditioned, controlled, and essentially programmed. And therefore, you know, we're kind of stabbing around in the dark. We might have some positive impact in an area, but then everything else will throw out of balance because we haven't cleaned up as much as we can in one go. And that's the invitation, is to remember you're always in a process of mastery, and you're also always in a process of learning. So where have you mastered something? Where are you learning? Where have you completed something? Where are you starting something new? Because every ending is going to precede a new beginning, and every new beginning is going to be preceded by an ending, right? So this is the nature of the cycles in our world. And the beauty of what we're coming into now with this year of the dragon is it's a spring and a yang energy. So the wood dragon is, if you can consider, it's like an energy that allows you to plant seeds for the future. It's an energy that is motivating. It's an energy that is fiery, is going to propel you forward rather than hold you back. So obviously we all have different signs and it affects us in different ways. But what I would encourage us to see this in the context of, especially the world at large, because there's you and your personal story. So what's your personal peace like presently? Where is there challenge in your life that is disturbing the peace? And what's going on in the collective? You know, I think we're seeing more and more, I have to ask the question, really, have we not evolved beyond war? Really, have we not evolved beyond, well, tit for tat? Really, who is running this world and why are they the ones running it? Like, we're starting to ask better questions, I believe, than we have been doing for a while. And what I see in pop culture to this point still, although things are changing, is that the focus is always on the problem and how we're going to fix the problem. But there's very little focus on the solution. What does the solution look like? So if I say to you, and please do answer this for me, what does peace look like to you? Like, what is your vision of peace? What does peace mean to you? What is it? Like, how do you feel if I say, do you want peace? And what would peace in your life look like? What would peace in the world look like? Where does that take you? Because in honest truth, I think most people kind of go, it's a bit like, hey, I'm your fairy godmother. What would you like? You can have 1,000 wishes. The responsibility of asking for the wrong thing, ooh, all of that. So the beauty of Aquarian energy, and you know I'm going back and forth with the Aquarian and the dragon, is this opportunity, as I said, to step out of the personal, to realize things are not happening to you to make your life a misery, to take the step back and up so you can see things from a bird's eye view perspective. You can see things in a bigger way and see the bigger picture. Because, you know, in my perception, what's going on here is we are moving into a whole new era, a new game. And that new game is basically every one of us owning our divinity. And as we own our divinity, if we own our unique expression of the divine, then what happens is we're then able to play to our strengths rather than our weaknesses, support each other to play to our strengths, bring shadow to light, and that's incredibly important. I'll go there in a moment. and actually create a vision for the world that we want to live, rather than constantly justifying the way things are and insisting this is the way things have to be. That's not the Aquarian age. The Aquarian age is innovative. This is a month of big change, lots of successions of change. So welcome everything that does come up, especially the things that are unexpected, right? Because they're going to be what lead you into basically a sense of what else is possible. And you know, this month for me started with quite a shock, actually. I was quite shocked by what had shown up, especially in relation to what I had asked for. And yet, by leaning into it and not avoiding it and not suppressing it and not trying to push it away, it has led to such huge liberation in just 1 week. It's brought me into contact with people that are teaching me new things that I'm ready for now. And I think for all of us, you know, if you think of your comfort zone, it's not comfortable, it's your familiar zone, right? It's like a goldfish bowl, right? When you're going through a process of ascension, you get into bigger and bigger vessels, if you like, or containers of consciousness, right? So if you've been in a goldfish bowl for a long time and now you're going to go into a pond, right? Or yeah, it could be a pond. That's it. Then it's going to seem so much bigger than your goldfish bowl, right? It's going to seem scary, murky waters, all these things that you didn't see before. What is dangerous? What isn't? And then you'll get acclimatized to the pond, and then you might end up in a bigger pond. And then from the bigger pond, you might end up in a lake, right? And then from a lake, a reservoir, and then it just keeps growing, and you find yourself in this ocean. But every time you step into new territory, it's unfamiliar and things are slightly different here. Okay, so we say there are universal laws, and there are. But the important thing, I think, for us to really recognize here is when we choose to be co-creators of our reality, what we're doing is we're stepping into a realm where we are no longer just waiting for things to come to us and responding to what's showing up. We're actually making a choice about the experience we want to have. And we raise our frequency to match that experience. And as a result of that, the experience then is revealed to us. And the biggest visual I've been given, and I have to thank Jeanette for this, is this is not about you forcing yourself to climb a mountain all the time. Every time something big happens that you feel you've got to brace yourself for. This is about moving through the illusionary wall in front of you by dissolving it, by seeing beyond the illusion of the wall, seeing the perfection of what you actually want already made manifest, and then asking the very important question, how can I align with this more fully? So with new moons, we set intentions. With full moons, we clear up resistance. Now, I've been playing around with memberships, seeing what people are up for and all the rest of it. And, you know, I don't say enough at the moment about the multidimensional yoga that we offer online. And I'm going to say this now because I know there's loads of yoga out in the world. So why would you do something online when you can go to a class in a local area? And I'd say, well, why not do both? Ultimately, the way that I offer things in my monthly yoga membership is I set the class is completely tailored around the needs of the people that show up. In the live sessions, if you show up live and you tell me what's going on, and the session is going to be channeled and created around you. Also, I do a little reading at the start of each class. And if I feel like I need to go into it in more detail, so I use Leslie Sloan's Oracle cards, then I go into that afterwards in the voice message support group that I have. So I create a container to allow you to look at the intentions you set through your new moon, to embed them in your physical body, to look at the guidance that comes up twice a week in relation to the cards to help you get more aligned with what you want. And then when you get to the full moon, it's the clearing the resistance up. And I'm going to reinstate the full moon healing and world service as a paid for monthly event for those of you who want to participate. I'm just looking into the logistics now. What we'll do is we'll put 50% of proceeds will go to charity. And at this point, it's going to be where war is causing the kind of suffering that we need to support the civilians, okay? So presently, what I would say to you is we all have the opportunity to be bigger, better versions of ourselves. But in order to do that, we have to have an energetic alignment and a physical alignment with it, a psychological and an emotional alignment. That's everything that I teach. And as I said, these yoga sessions really, whether you catch the replay or you catch the live, you're getting, it's like the chapters of your book, right? You set the tone of the book at the start of the year, and then these are the monthly chapters that then you look at what's going on within them in relation to the new energies and the clearing energies and what shows up as guidance in between. Now, when we embody the frequencies that we want to align with, that's when things speed up much faster. So, if you're not in a position at the moment to look at joining me for the coaching program, which is starting next week, we've got intake on the 14th, intake on the 28th. Please book your call if you haven't yet, and you would like to find out more about this phenomenal journey. It's a detox and reprogramming journey. If that's not in your budget right now, then I bet the yoga is. And it's about giving yourself a chance to see how you can progress by doing something rather than nothing. That's what I want everybody to be able to do, because you strengthen the physical first, you're going to help bring more of your light into your body. And as a result of that, things that were really difficult become less difficult and you start to move forward. Okay, that's the key. And this is the invitation for the whole of this year, because the dragon energy, I've written some things down here, it's about abundance, it's about evolution, it's about improvement, new beginnings. Like, just think about this in the global stage. It's about setting foundations for long-term success. So again, if we come back to the statement, I am surrendering my ego will to my divine will. What we're saying is I'm surrendering my struggle mindset to my divine mindset. I'm surrendering the part of me that is shrouded in fear and doubt and makes decisions on my behalf to the version of me that can see the picture that I'm seeking to achieve, is already in vibrational alignment with that. And I'm putting that part of me in control of my thinking, my actions, my decisions, my beliefs, and so on and so forth. And I describe this as, it's like you driving a car, like which part of you is driving the vehicle of your life. So your highest self gets to be put in control of your vehicle. Like I say, surrender, well, put your soul in control, surrender control to your soul. Your soul, from the perspective I'm teaching, is the eternal nature of your being, your consciousness, whereas your human self is the temporal. Okay. We're not going to go into too many details around that, but everything right now, especially February to August, it's a 6-month axis, right? We've got Lionsgate in August, 8th to the 12th is the portal, right? But it starts a month before and really it closes a month later. Sirius alignment with Sirius. You gotta love that. Sirius alignment with Sirius. Heaven's gates open. We get blasted with so many beautiful codes of ascension, gifts, if you like, remembering our talents already earned. Okay, so talents already earned in previous lifetimes means you've done the work to claim these. I usually would say gifts, but I think talents is a helpful word here, because you've developed a potential, I can't even get the word out now, a predisposition towards a certain talent, sorry, a certain gift. You've developed it through your own efforts. So, for example, through years of coaching, I've become much better at coaching now than I did when I first started. But I was still a good coach at the start. I had a predisposition to coaching, right? It came naturally to me, same making videos. But through the years and the choice to keep developing myself, I've become better and better. So this is what it means in terms of owning talents you have already earned. When we come to Lionsgate, we've got like so much energy being gifted to us. And I gave this analogy. Like, let's just say you normally have access to 100, let's just say a litre of water a day, and you want to receive 1,000 litres of water a day. Have you got containers? You've got a container for a litre, but do you have containers in your vicinity to be able to capture the 1,000 litres, so the 999 other litres of water that you want? Now, see that water as energy, see it as opportunity, see it as money, see it as love, see it as anything that you want to receive more of. In order for you to have it, there has to be the capacity to hold it, right? Otherwise, it's just going to slip through your fingers. So see the energy of Lionsgate in the same way. I talk about divine architecture. I know Regan Hilliard talks about energetic architecture. We're talking about the same thing, creating, all right, these structures, like strengthening the structures in your energy field to be able to receive. And what comes with this, as we become brighter, because more of our soul light is in our bodies, we are therefore more likely to open up to our spiritual gifts, to our psychic gifts, etc. Our superpowers come online. So learning how to use those superpowers wisely is key. All right. Plugging in and switching on means you've got more power running through you, right? You want to learn how to use that power wisely. Just plugging in and switching on without knowing what to do with the energy that you're bringing through is dangerous. That's why it's important to have someone that can guide you, to show you the next step, to show you what's required in order for you to make the most of what you're aligning with, right? So because this year also numerologically vibrates to 8, it's the infinity sign. Lionsgate is the 8-8 portal. It's 888 this year. So it's like huge, huge potential. And yet you could sleep through it and just have a bit of a bumpy ride. It's the analogy I gave earlier about surfing. You know, when you know how to surf a huge wave, it's a thrill, right? But when you don't know how to surf a huge wave and you see it coming, it's going to be terrifying, right? So this is how we fear our own power as well if we don't know how to use it. So this is definitely a time for us being able to use our power wisely. Now, for those of you who are here, let's just have a look. We've got some comments. I'm finally getting them. So let me just see if I can actually access them. This is the issue with doing these lives. Apologies, is that sometimes I don't see them until later. Now, what is going on for you in terms of your intentions? Let's turn this down, see if I can actually see it. Thank you for the love, beautiful ones. I'm really just trying to find, here we go. So, fire, power, majestic. I'm ready, completely focused like I've never been. Good, that's what I want to hear. And that is the energy of what we're working with, all right? So if you have got any questions, let me know. My personal desire for us all right now is just to make a quick connection with our highest selves and for you to feel that and to remember that, you know, this is something that you tap into several times a day. All right. It's not just a once off. It's how you check in the morning. It's how you check in at night. It's what you do in between. So one of the things I've had to learn recently as I handle more of my power is how to not be open all the time. Okay. How to be able to choose when to activate my psychic gifts and my intuitive gifts and how to shut them down so that I'm not constantly connected to everyone all the time. Now, that what is a big lesson here is that when something is hidden, even though you've gone looking for it before, it's not meant to be seen. But when something is in the way and it now needs to be seen for you to then move it out of the way, it will be revealed to you. So what so many of us do when we go through a big leap is we suddenly see, this is what grace is, the power of revelation. You suddenly have an aha moment and you see something that you didn't see before. And instead of going, wow, isn't this amazing that I've finally been able to see this, that this has changed my worldview and I can move forward, we spend all our time going, why couldn't I see that before? Why did that happen? When did it show up? Why was that? And you're kind of in the wrong space. You're in the space of trying to change something that's already been changed. So let it go. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know everything. When you're not in control, it's your soul. All right. So can we surrender to that? And remember that life is constantly responding to the intentions we put in motion. So now with this Chinese New Year energy coming through on the 9th, you will feel the shift. It's already happening. We're currently in the dark of the moon, so we're purging because it's tomorrow night that the new moon will be birthed, right? So this is the time typically when we can feel hopeless, when we can feel like we're not getting it, that we just want to give up. I mean, that's quite standard. It's what's kind of the dregs that need to be cleared, and then the new light comes in again, right? Some of us already feeling that beautiful dragon energy and how it's actually supporting us right now to move forward and to ride the dragon. But more than anything, you know, what is coming up is this opportunity with this whole new year starting to say, okay, we had the solstice, we had New Year Gregorian calendar, 1st of the month. Now, so 1st of January, now we're embedded in. So this is us stepping fully into this year. And in February, we've got a leap year this year as well. So we've got an extra day. So there's extra energy, extra time, extra opportunities available. So do you want to just open yourself up to that? Let's have a feeling for it right now. And then you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about. You want to start just by rubbing your hands together, firing up the right and left side of your brain, having a little shake. And then just let your hands rest, palms up, okay? So Pushpapati Mudra. I am not clenching my fingers, just holding lightly on my thighs, shoulder blades on the back. Okay, so before you open up, create a container with your nose, draw a circle in the air in front of you, both directions, okay? And then choose by drawing your nose up and down to be a conduit of source, all that is. Now inhale, and as you exhale, turn your head to the left and just let go of the past. Surrender everything to this now moment. Inhale, center, and as you exhale, turn your head to the right and just allow yourself to receive the future. Receive future you that you wish to align with fully. This version of you that's doing whatever it is that you want to be doing, experiencing whatever you want to experience. Bring her to your present by bringing your head neutral now, forward. And now drop your chin to your heart. So chin to chest. Imagine smiling into your heart smiling back, and step into this. Step into your sphere, step into your light. Now, even without any I am statements, just calling in, I am intending to be connected to the purest vibrations of love and light. I am commanding an axitonial alignment with my highest self. That means an all-layer alignment. I am surrendering my ego will to my divine will. Just these statements. I'm choosing to be a conduit of source energy on this earth. I'm calling in all my guides and teachers of the purest vibrations of love and light. And I'm commanding that any energies that are not of my highest good be repelled from me and my energy field now. I am surrendering my ego will to my divine will. I am divine love. I am divine wisdom. I am divine power. I am that I am. Just like that, just a few I am statements. Just feel that for you. How does that feel? How does your body respond? And then how can you be open and also safe? So we talk about the platinum flame. We talk about the platinum skin. Now, if you're opening up to your soul light every day, if you're plugging in, then you want to create a skin around your sphere, your reality bubble. So we created it with our nose. I want you to step into it fully now. We did, but I didn't explain it fully. So step into your sphere, expand that sphere as big as you can. Make it a safe space for you and all that you are. And then imagine this beautiful platinum skin, like a flame, just moving around your sphere and under you and down into the earth. So you're like a mirrored ball. And so what isn't helpful to you gets repelled and it gets sent back to source. But that which is helpful to you, in alignment with your I am statements, seeps into you, into your energy field, into your experience, into your reality bubble. You can just say, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. Root down into the earth, down, down, down. Send your roots right down. The dragon energy is in the earth. So we're going to be playing a lot this year with going down, rooting down to rise up. And you go with your beautiful dragon down to the center of the earth. Are there any parts of your body that are starting to tingle, letting you know there's either energy moving or a blockage that wants to be cleared? Just be observant. Then slowly bring yourself back. Okay, so that's just a real basic little activation of energy, okay? And I'm cautious about doing too much energy work online without actually having a closed space, because everyone's at different stages of their journey. And, you know, it is so important that we are responsible with our energy, right? It's so important that we're aware of what to do with the higher frequencies we call in. In the UK, we have a 3-point plug. So you have an earthing element of your plug, and that is so that it's not dangerous, right? So you want to earth, root down to rise up. Now, I feel like that's mainly what I wanted to say today. And, you know, tomorrow I am going to be hosting. So in case you missed this, I actually offered a Align, well, it was actually put your soul in control and align with your sacred union masterclass last week it was. And off the back of that, I'm going to be doing a relationship upgrade psychic Q&A tomorrow. So Thursday at 7 p.m. GMT in this Star Peace Facebook group. This is where we co-create our reality. Okay. So if you're on my YouTube channel, you can join the Facebook group as well. It's Facebook for a reason, just like I'm on YouTube for a reason. These are mainstream places that, you know, don't necessarily support the full bigger picture, right? But we bring our light here, and this helps us to shift what's going on in the narrative. So yeah, if you would like to ask your highest self to communicate through me, whatever you might want to know in terms of supporting you to align with what you desire, especially when it comes to love, then this is your opportunity. I'm inviting you to DM me or to comment in the post that we've actually put out about the live with any questions you actually have, so I can tune in tomorrow. I've already got a few. And yes, this is an invite just to actually get more aligned with what it is you say you want. Now, for the rest of this month, so we've got 3 more weeks, can you allow yourself to be very mindful about what you say and where you place your energy? Like, where is the power? Because if you can imagine, the dragon's energy is, it's strong, powerful, fiery energy. So typically, and this is the clue, we get really passionate about things we're angry about, things that we feel are not acceptable. And if we're not careful, we spend a lot of time gassing, I mean, talking about the things we don't want and how terrible things are and how so-and-so's wronged us, etc. Like, if you do need to bring light to a shadow, then be very mindful how you talk about it. Okay, you're going to energize everything that comes out of your mouth. All of us do. All right. So the power behind the words is really the passion behind it. Now, what I alluded to a little earlier in this session is that for us to truly be balanced individuals, for us to truly have strong energy fields and not be prone to imbalances personally and collectively, then it is essential we own all that we are. And that means owning all of our shadow. If we have a predisposition to victim consciousness, which, hello, everyone does, right? Then let's own it. Oh, that's when my poor me comes out. Oh yeah, okay, let me love that poor me. If you know you have a tendency to, maybe this has come from your childhood, to get attention by being unwell, right? And you've got a chronic health condition now in later life, you know where that pattern came from. Can you have compassion for yourself? If, you know, you recognize, because this is what's going on with the collective and the feminine, is that we're becoming way more balanced in our masculine and feminine internally. This is what's happening in those who have female form, so that we can actually hold space for our masculines, whether it's our partners, our dads, or our children, or our siblings. And we're basically able to nurture and hold boundary in a really new, innovative way. We stop playing the victim ourselves and wailing like banshees, and we actually allow ourselves to really hold the space lovingly of non-judgment, of compassion, and to know that pain has to be released from the body. Okay, so there's body, there's emotion, there's energy, all of it has to be cleared, and then we can do it for the masculines. But what was happening in the last energy update is I was talking about how we're clearing a lot of the trauma that's been suppressed and passed from one generation to the next, mainly through us growing babies and birthing them, right? That's the part that's on us. We didn't do it consciously, but it's what's happened. Right? We've carried our wounding, we've imprinted that wounding on our youngsters. We've birthed them, brought them up the best we could, and then they still bring out stuff that we're like, what? How did you come from my womb? But anyway, that's what happens. Now what we're being called to do is really what was happening is we were clearing through our tears. We were clearing through sweat and through sexual juices. That was the main way. Now what's happening, it feels to me, is that we're able to meet more of the parts of us that before we rejected, abandoned, and potentially even betrayed, that we were told were unacceptable. We were conditioned to have shame around, mainly shame and guilt around. But shame is what then brings guilt in, right? So wherever there's guilt, blame, shame, there's judgment. And that's what we're learning to overcome. So we come into neutral. So we don't dramatize, we neutralize, and we're able just to hold the vision. That's our job, to hold the vision of perfection, to hold the vision of the healing, and not to get concerned with how it's going to happen. So as we are able to hold the boundary and step forward and say, look, that's not going to work. You doing that again is not going to work, masculine. You showing up this way when I'm trying to do this is not going to work. Can you please not do that, because you are nullifying what I'm doing here to create change. And it's being able to call that. Now, I didn't say call it out. It means call it, bring light to it and say, hey, this isn't helping. I had a situation recently like this myself, and I had to say, look, I'm doing everything I can here to sort the situation out. This situation needs a miracle. All the time that you're shitting on this situation with your words, with why is it happening and how could this and da 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 da, you are nullifying everything that I am seeking to do here. So can you stop? You just hold the space of gratitude and appreciation as though what you want has already been manifest. Don't worry about the how. I'm dealing with that. This is what we're doing as femmes. We're leading the way, because when it comes to the wave of change for the masculines, there's so much heartache for them to actually clear and heal, right? There is so much that is painful for them to actually be able to own, to admit, to see things that they didn't even do themselves, but they carry through the masculine element. So this is really important for us, just to have compassion. That doesn't mean we put up with a load of crap, but we get really clear on how we want to do things. Okay, so in this evolutionary leap, it's almost like we bend the rules. All of the things we've been a stickler about, we're learning now to kind of be more flexible around. And instead of focusing on the symptom, we really look at the change that can be created. And just remember, everything can harm, everything can heal. How we use it is what matters. Okay, so let's summarize this as we come to really making the most of these energies. And this is quite a long forecast, obviously, in terms of what I'm talking about, but it's setting you up for the year. So come Friday, this Friday, which is the 9th, I will be through the yoga class. I'll be pulling the cards that really are the new moon and the Chinese New Year cards for the year. So if you want to join us for that, you can sign up to the monthly membership, which is £48 a month. You get 2 live classes a week, plus a whole backlog of replays, and you come into a WhatsApp group where, you know, I then send you the cards that we've pulled and any readings that come up from it as well. And this will just set the tone for the year. So we'll be working with it. Okay. The statement that I mentioned to you is already, I'm surrendering my ego will to my divine will. So I am choosing for the collective to surrender the old victim consciousness into the higher consciousness, and to be a conduit of that higher consciousness, to seek to see the good, to seek to see the image of it already being in perfection, of it already being sorted. So peace on earth, what does it look like? My happy, healthy relationship, what does it feel like? The connection with my child that's been severed, what does that feel like? Whatever your story is that you're wanting to overcome and to seek resolution, don't worry about the details, just see the end result. Okay, the rest will come about, because the dragon energy is going to work with it, as will the non-personal Aquarian energy work with it. And, you know, if you can join me tomorrow, join me. It's going to be really fun. Like, Sacred Union is my passion, and I'm really committed. Like, this is my last rodeo in terms of me running the Fearless, Loved Up and Limitless course. I've been training up awesome coaches to take over from me. I'm literally ready to publish my book. So I'm getting ready for an extended book tour around the world. And, you know, coaching has been a huge part of my journey, and I've got a lot to offer people. But I'm a teacher trainer first and foremost. You know, I train teachers to train others. So, you know, my sort of work with, you know, those of you who come to me as clients is shifting, because I'm now working more with those who want to train to coach what I teach, right? So this is, if you want me to be your personal coach, this is your opportunity now. Over this month is when I'm intaking. And as soon as I get to my 12, that's it. It's closed doors. It's done. The next opportunity you've got is Lionsgate Retreat, which is going to be in August. And again, this is going to be a 3-month container. You can do both. And I'm doing an offer for those of you who'd like to do both. So what do you do with this? You book a desire mapping call. Okay. If you book your desire mapping call, then we can take things from there and see exactly what you want, what's in the way, what I've got on offer. If I've got something that can support you, I will let you know. If it's Fearless, I'll let you know. If it's one-to-one, you're interested in that, I'll let you know. If it's Lionsgate, I'll let you know. If it's the yoga, I'll let you know. The point is to start somewhere. So now's your chance. And I'm not taking calls this weekend because I've got a weekend of fun with my friends. So, you know, if you want to speak with me ahead of the 14th, which is when we're starting then you want to book in on Monday, well, that's it. You're going to have to book in on Monday or Tuesday at this point. Okay, so please do make the most of that. I'll put the link in the chat box for you. Any questions, let me know. And that's it for now. Okay, so thank you so much for being part of this. And yeah, keep an eye out. Like, if you haven't joined the Manifesting Star Peace Utopia Facebook group, I'm going to be doing several things in there. And also my TikTok is going to start to become where we really start to ask the questions about peace and what peace looks like and how we create it on this planet and what it means to a 7-year-old, a 14-year-old, an 80-year-old. Like, let's bring this energy in, my friends. It is time. And with the energy of this dragon and Aquarius, it's happening. You are amazing. I love you lots. Take heart. Everything is working out as it should be. And for those who are in horrid places right now, I have friends who are, I'm thinking of a particular friend of mine who's in Gaza at the moment. It's just holding a protective sphere of emerald green and platinum and gold light around you, and just intending that all beings on our planet are happy and at peace. All beings on our planet are safe. All beings on this planet have all the resources required to not just survive, but thrive. And we are co-creating that together. Okay. So watch this space, send you loads of love, and go to RozyGlow.com if you want to find out about the coaching and you want to find out about the memberships. Just drop me a message and I'll let you know. Ta-ra for now. Take care. Take care.